Hi, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Laurel. I'm Laurel, and in this video we're going to talk about discounts. In business, you're going to see two different types of discounts. One is single discount, and the other is multiple discounts, which could also be called successive discounts. A simple discount is just one discount. Let's take a look at this example to see how we work through it. It says a cell phone has a retail price of $850. If there is a promotion offering a discount of 20%, what is the sale price? One way that we could go about solving this is we could find the amount of discount. Our amount of discount will be 20% of $850. So 20% as a decimal is 0.2 of 850. We're going to multiply by 850. And that gives us a discount of $170. Once we have that amount of discount, we can then subtract it from our regular price to get our sale price. So the sale price is the regular price minus the amount of discount. Regular price is $850. Amount of discount is $170. So our sale price would be $680. Doing it this way is a little longer than necessary, but I like students to have an understanding of what these numbers mean and what they're actually finding. But let's look at another method that's going to be shorter. Another way that we can approach this question is we can calculate the sale price by taking the original or the retail price of $850 and multiplying that by 1 minus our percent discount. The reason we multiply by this is that if the discount is 20%, that means that the new or the sale price is going to be 80% of our retail price. 100% minus 20% is 80%. So in decimal form, 100% is 1 and 20% is 0.2. So our sale price will be equal to 850 times 1 minus 0.2 is 0.8, or in other words, 80% of 850, and that value is $680. So we get the same result as we did when we did it the previous method, but we did it a little faster because we didn't find the amount of discount. Doing it this method doesn't give us the amount of discount. You may not need that, but if you do want to know that value, you would simply subtract 680, the sale price, from 850, the retail price. If you're using a business text, you're probably going to see a formula that looks like this. The new value will equal the old value times 1 plus or minus the percent change. So this formula can be used two different ways. If you're increasing a value by a certain percent, so for example, if you're adding a sales tax, then you're going to use the plus. If you're decreasing a value by a certain percent, then you're going to use the minus. So in this case, when we're working with discounts, we're going to use the minus. So you can use this formula if you like formulas, or you can just go through the steps like we did previously. So the new value is what we're finding. The old value is 850. The percent change is 20%, as a decimal is 0.2. So that gives us what we were working with in the last method. Again, 1 minus 0.2 is 0.8, multiplied by 850 is 680. Now let's look at an example where we're given the sale price and we're asked to find the retail price. In this example, we're told after a discount of 18%, an item sells for $1,148. We're asked two different things. What was the original price and what was the amount of discount? So let's start with the original price. Basically what I'm going to do is use this formula. So the new price is what we know. We know the sale price is $1,148. That will be equal to the old value or the retail value, the original price. I don't know that. That's going to be my X. And then I multiply by 1 minus the percent change, which is 18%. It's an 18% discount. As a decimal, that's 0.18. 1 minus 0.18 is 0.82. And in order to solve for X, I'm going to divide 1,148 by 0.82. When I do the division, I get 1,400. So that's my original price. In order to calculate the amount of discount, I can do it one of two ways. I can simply take the original price minus the sale price. And when I do that, I get $252. I could also find 18% of 1,400. So 18% of 1,400 would also give me 252. So either option is fine, whatever you find simplest. So when you're solving these discount questions, make sure you have a good understanding of the method or the math behind what we're doing, or a good understanding of the formula. Know how to find either the new value or the old value. Now let's talk about multiple discounts. Multiple or successive discounts is where you have more than one discount applied. And let's take a look at this example. Clothing on a 40% off sales rack has a sign attached saying additional 10% off the sale price. If the regular price of a pair of jeans is $120, what is the final sale price? So when you have successive discounts, the item is discounted once, and then again, and so on. We can't simply add these two numbers up and say that it's a 50% off sale, because it is not. And the reason that that won't work is that because the 40% off is going to be on the regular price, $120, but then the next discount, the 10%, isn't off the original or retail price, it's going to be off the new sale price. So we're going to go through this in 2 steps, and then I'm going to show you how you can do it in 1 step. So when we apply the 40% discount, our new price will be the old price of $120 times 1 minus 40% is 0.4. So the sale price is $72 before the extra 10%. So now let's find out what the price will be after we take 10% of 72 off of this price. So our next new price will be 72 times 1 minus 10%. 72 times 0.9, which is $64.80. If you're wanting to know the price after each discount, you can go through each step, but let's take a look at how we can do this calculation all in 1 step. What we can do is take our original price of $120, multiply that by 1 minus 0.4, so in other words 60%, or 0.6, and then take that value and multiply by 1 minus 0.1 for the 10%, or in other words, multiply by 0.9. So when I simplify this, I'm going to have 120 times 0.6 times 0.9, which is $64.80, the same value I obtained doing it the first method. So hopefully you understand that you can do successive discounts all in 1 step, regardless of how many you have. Now, a question you might see with successive discounts is, what single discount would be equivalent to the successive discounts? In order to do that, we're going to go back to a formula we talked about in an earlier video. The percent change will equal new minus old divided by old and multiply by 100 to change it to a percent. So in this example, the new price was $64.80. The old price was $120. Divide by the old price and then multiply by 100. So the percent change is negative 46%. Because of the negative, it's a decrease, and if we use the word decrease or discount, we don't have to put the negative sign. Now let's take a look at an example where we have more than 2 successive discounts. So the next example says the regular price on an item is $9,500. It has successive discounts of 20%, 10%, and 8%. What is the selling price? You can do this step by step and find each value after each discount, which you might need to do if you're asked for those values, but I'm going to do it all in 1 step. So my selling price or my new price will be the original or the old $9,500 times 1 minus 0.2 times 1 minus 0.1, 10%, times 1 minus 0.08, 8%. Let's simplify these values. So 9,500 times 0.8 times 0.9 times 0.92. And when I multiply all of that out, I get $6,292.80. Let's look at one more example where we have successive discounts, but this time we'll know the sale price and we're going to want to know the original price. We're told that an item has been discounted 20% and then another 20%. The sale price is $112. what is the regular price? Remember, we can't add 20% and 20% to get 40%. That won't work. And remember, we can't take 20% of the sale price because our discount is based on the regular price. So in order to solve this, I'm going to still use my same formula or my same technique, but this time I know the new price and not the old price. So the new price is $112. I don't know the old price, but I take that value and I multiply by 1 minus 20%, so 1 minus 0.2, and then another discount of 20%, so 1 minus 0.2 as well. I'm going to call this value x, and I'm going to simplify inside the brackets, so I'm going to get 0.8 times 0.8, and I'm going to multiply those values to get 0.64. In order to solve for x, I divide both sides by 0.64. 112 divided by 0.64 is equal to 175. So therefore the old or the original or the regular price was $175. And then when 20% discount was applied and then another 20%, the new price was $112. Let's again find the single rate of discount that would be equivalent to the multiple or successive or the discount series. So our percent change will be equal to the new, which was 112, minus the old, which is 175, divided by the old, times 100. We get a value of negative 36, which would be equivalent to a 36% discount. So note that that is not 20 plus 20. I hope you now have a better understanding how to work with discounts, either single or multiple.